And the next night came, and Scheherazade again told a story to the king and to her sister Dunyazad. And the night after that she told another story. So it went on, each story more magnificent and amazing than the last. Finally, she told stories for 1,000 nights, almost 3 years. But then, on the 1,001st night, she told a story unlike any she'd told ever before. They were all there, as usual. The king, Scheherazade, Dunyazad, they were all there. And once again Dunyazad said, "Oh, my sister, if you are not sleepy, please tell us a story." "Yes, yes," said the king, "please tell us a story." And then Scheherazade said, "Once there was a king who loved to fight battles. He loved to have a sword in his hand. He loved to ride on a powerful horse, to see all his men on their horses before him. He loved to yell, 'Charge!' and see them all pull out their swords and gallop towards the enemy. He loved the excitement, the furious intensity of that moment, knowing that at any second an enemy arrow could come and strike him down and he would die in the sand like any other soldier. So he fought a lot of battles. He was often away from home. Now he had a wife, a queen, but she became bored. He was gone so much, she became bored, she became lonely. And one day the king returned to his palace only to see his vizier, his chief minister, there at the palace gate. And he had a troubled expression on his face, and he said, "Oh, my king, I have hard news. Your wife, the queen, well, she's gone off. She's run off with a handsome prince from another kingdom. We don't know where they've gone. Perhaps into the mountains, perhaps far out across the sea. But it seems clear she does not love you any more." This was hard news, and it made the king sad, and it made him angry. And gradually, as day after day went by, but at this point, the king broke into the story, the king himself, and he said, "But Scheherazade, that story, that's my story, and that king, he's me." "Yes," said Scheherazade, "that story is your story, and that king is you. For each of us is a character in a story told by another, and who among us can say how our stories will end? But in this moment, my dear king, I have a request to make of you, and it is this. Please lift this cruel sentence of death from my head. I have been a good wife to you. I have served you well. I have been faithful. I have been charming. I have been wise. I have been patient for so long. No woman deserves to have a sentence of death upon her head, and you deserve a real woman, an equal, to match you heart for heart and soul for soul. You deserve a true companion of your heart, and I believe I am that companion. I believe I am that woman. So please lift this sentence of death from my head." And the king wept. Tears came to his eyes, and he knelt down before Scheherazade, and he kissed her bare feet. And he said, "My dear Scheherazade, truly you have led me from ignorance to wisdom. You have led me from cruelty to compassion. I love you dearly. I do lift this cruel sentence from your head, and I regret ever putting you under that sentence of death. Please forgive me for all my cruelties over these years. Tomorrow, if you wish, you and I shall renew our vows in the palace garden, and then I will give a speech before all the people in which I beg their forgiveness for my cruel ways, and swear to be kind and compassionate to them and to you from that day forward. And then I will declare a national holiday for 9 days, and I will set free all the prisoners from the jails, and there will be feasting and frolicking and music in the streets." And he said, "Please tell me, do you accept me, not simply as the king of this realm, but as your husband and as the man of your heart?" And Scheherazade said, "I do." And the two of them embraced, and they felt a happiness in that moment deeper than anything they'd ever felt before. And they spent a peaceful, contented night in that bedroom. And the next morning the king was true to his word, and he did give a speech before all the people in which he begged their forgiveness. And then he and Scheherazade renewed their vows in a beautiful ceremony in the palace garden. And an oud player began to play, and birds sang in the trees. And then a national holiday was declared for 9 days, and there was singing and dancing and feasting at all hours, and bells were rung throughout the cities of his realm. And during these 9 days, amazing things happened. They were days separate from the calendar, days more a part of eternity than a part of the daily round of hello and goodbye, of yes and no, of open and closed, the daily rituals we all go through. These 9 days were something beyond. They were like music after long silence. They were flowers suddenly emerging from the dirt after a long, cruel winter. People fell in love during these 9 days that never thought they would ever fall in love. People who'd fallen out of love fell back into love. It was a beautiful and laughter-filled occasion, those entire 9 days. And it is said that once that festival was over, Scheherazade and the king lived for many years in harmony and contentment. And sometimes, when the moon was full in the sky, the two of them would find that it was impossible to sleep. And so they would lie in bed together, talking and sharing their thoughts, their dreams, and their memories. And that sometimes the king would tell Scheherazade a story.